Hey there, Sarah with you, NextGEN Medium. I was just looking at my my image in my camera, and I was just saying to myself that I am just always going to look like a disheveled mess until there is one job that I do. But yeah, first of all, thank you to everybody listening to the podcast, NextGEN Medium podcast. Just hit 10,000 downloads this weekend, so that was kind of a cool thing to come across. I actually put it up on the Facebook. I put it up on Facebook. I did a little video, and instead of the 10,000 number that I put up, I put the 9999 because I knew people would maybe want to see that number, those angel numbers or whatever. I'm a psychic medium intuitive, and as much as I like to help people communicate with people that have passed along through my mediumship or tell people what's coming in the future or whatever, I like to help people develop this stuff for themselves because I think there's a lot about it that adds to your self-confidence and helps you have confidence to take on your own life. I feel like there's a lot of self-support that these skills bring you that nothing else can. So I like to help people with their development. One of the things I like to do is go to Reddit and see what questions are out there. I came across one that was like, oh, I got to talk about this one because there's a lot of good things in here. And it's actually relevant to what I'm talking about on the podcast right now. So let's do this. Let's get into it. So this video isn't 15 minutes long, even though it probably will be. Okay. This is in the subreddit of mediums. Two Huffmans. I know that person. So I'm really excited. I didn't realize that until I just read this. Okay. Does connecting with a spirit feel different for everyone? This person writes, in the past year, when I've purposely connected with a loved one, I would set the intention of who I wanted to speak with. I would meditate and do some energy work on myself, grounding myself, and then I go into my secret place. My place was created years ago after reading a book on meditation, and I use it often. It's set towards the back on the floor of my mind, a one-room rustic cabin in the woods with a fireplace, a big leather chair, ottoman, fuzzy rug, and a table beside me with a cup of tea. I face a door flanked by two windows, and those windows act as my eyes to the unseen worlds. When I started purposely connecting to spirits, I would open the door and allow them to sit in with me. I do have a guardian out there, but to my knowledge, he has never had to block anyone as of yet. Recently, I had my first experience of a spirit reaching out to me. I say that they were knocking, but in reality, it felt like they were pressing in on my bubble of consciousness. I felt this pressure pushing in, and I knew what it was. When I decided to connect with them, I went to my place and sat down, got comfortable, and set out tea for them before I opened the door. Is that silly? It sounds so crazy to me when I say it out loud, but it's what felt natural to me. I was just wondering what it felt like for others. Okay, first of all, excellent exercise. If you are starting mediumship, if you're starting connecting with guides or whatever, is to build a room in your mind. You imagine whatever kind of place makes you feel comfortable, and you really got to give it details for it to be a place that is your go-to place in your mind. And I think this is an excellent example of how to do that. She's got a quaint cabin. There's a fireplace, it's cozy, a leather chair, an ottoman. This actually feels a lot like my room that I created when I first started doing this stuff. And in the first couple of exercises, when I took that one introduction to mediumship class that changed my whole life, in the first hour, this was one of the exercises we did, is we built our room in our mind where we would connect with guides, with angels or spirits or whoever. And I think this led me to be able to know where that place in my mind is that I need to go in order to connect. And it's very much that place of the imagination. We think of the place of imagination as fiction, but it's actually a place where we connect with truth as well. And so I love that she put this out there because it it's a great exercise to get yourself in that mode in mediumship or whatever, to start using that piece of imagination and creating a room that's comfortable in your mind. That's your place of familiarity. That is excellent. That's right on. And there's going to be a day when I do a guided meditation of this, and I'll lead you through it. It's really cool. And so my room, I guess I'll tell you my room. My room is an old, I imagine if it was in a house, it'd be an old mariner's mansion. And it actually reminds me of this house that my best friend Kristen, when I was growing up, her family bought this old mariner sea captain's house. I live in Maine, so that's kind of what you do. And so it's old and it's long and dark, but there's a fireplace. There's even like that leather. I actually have a couch, and I have like a wingback chair. And where I sit is on the couch, and where people who come to visit me, they sit in that wingback chair. I don't do this in my mind that much anymore, because I actually found a more direct way of connecting with spirit. But that is an example of like a way to get to that imagination place, to start connecting with spirit in a way that you feel like it's plausible that this is truth. You know what I mean? So I want to continue here because she's mentioning this pressing in my bubble of consciousness, pressure, pushing in. I think what you're experiencing, I don't know if I've actually had so much of a meeting somebody and feeling a certain condition right away like that. So I would be interested in if this entity had, however you were feeling pressure, if there was a certain condition of their own that made them feel like they maybe had pressure in the brain, like maybe there was a stroke, or maybe they had a fever, a really high fever where the brain felt pressure, or so as. But that's not to say that that's not how you feel when an entity wants to enter your space. But I would kind of look into that second thing, where it could be condition of the individual, and they're passing that along to you in an empathetic way. You know what I mean? I have had headaches that have come on because of the condition of the spirits of a young man that passed along, or pressure in my leg because of condition to do with varicose veins. So I would also consider that as well. When it comes to knowing that a spirit is ready to connect with me, it's more or less I kind of clear my mind and let a face pop up. And I actually have like a little window that I imagine, and it's evolved with time where I can actually see like the whole person now, and get a lot of information about the person more than just the face in the window. I can see their whole body. I can see how old they are. I can see how big or little or tall or short. And I can even see what their posture is like. For a while, there was metaphorical stuff of them sitting or facing away from me. And it kind of evolves as time goes on. So I think depending on the information you got, and if you were able to, cross-reference things, maybe with more information gathered after your meditation, I would say you should feel pretty comfortable with your abilities. But I think for me, it's pretty much visual. And then from there, I start investigating. And as I investigate, that's when I start picking up on condition or emotion or even memories, flashes of imagery, or even their handwriting, stuff like that. So two things to get out of this. One is to try that meditation exercise where you create a place in your mind. Go to that place. Make it your own. And visualize the whole room, 360. It is a real place. And then from there, that door that's open to the outside, you can get a knock on the door and invite people in. When it comes to guides having anything to do with this, I don't know if they just know that they're supposed to help me or what, but I rarely have my guides involved with my mediumship stuff, or if there's like some sort of understanding, I don't know, but so I understand that. I don't know if anybody has had to be blocked, she says. Maybe my guardian stepped in. I don't know. I'm right there with you. So thank you to Hoffman's great post. And I think a lot of people can get stuff out of this that are on their own journey of developing their own mediumship or their own soul abilities. Finding that place in your mind can really actually help you kind of merge with the soul world, because that's where the soul world really does function. It's in that imagination place. And as you transition, it's kind of an easy place to transition into that more esoteric kind of visualization and understanding of energy and blah, blah, blah. Okay. So if you want to find more information, check out my podcast, 10,000 downloads and growing, at wherever you listen to podcasts, NextGEN Medium, the podcast. I also got stuff on my website, nextgenmedium.com. Yeah, you can find me on Facebook, on Instagram, other places. Yeah. Okay. That's it for today. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll chat with you again soon. Happy developing.